Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, I thought it was worth doing a top of the table clash preview because if there's one thing I love talking about more than Cov, it's Middlesbrough. Jonny from Boro Breakdown joins me. Jonny, here we are together again in the championship table where we belong. First and second this year, though. Not bad at all.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing, to be honest. I think the underlying numbers probably suggest we should be a little bit lower, but I mean, I will take second wherever Boro or Coventry are pretty much next to us or above us. So hopefully, fingers crossed in May that we'll have a celebration, like promotion party together. I can see it happening on a week when we catch up in Manchester quite a bit, but maybe we could do that there. It's just like a middle ground between us. But yeah, what a great start for the pair of us. I mean, you guys are absolutely flying at the minute. We're stuttering a little bit, but look, with a new manager incoming, it looks like hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that bump up a little bit more and continue that journey with you.
85 Ash maybe in a half and half shirt at this double promotion parade. We'll have to get him in or something like that. He, by the way, looks like Jonny tells me might be in charge on Tuesday, right, of Borough with the new manager Kim Helberg not quite in and up and running as we speak.
Yeah, it looks like it probably will be announced by tomorrow. I think that's the penciled plan, but that will most likely mean that he won't take charge of the game. So, with that in mind, it looks like we'll be 85 Ash in charge and then Kim Helberg in the stand, which means that we might get a bit of a new manager bounce slash 85 Ash taking charge against his former club, who everyone loves, but also he knows very well. So it's like, hopefully, fingers crossed that falls in our favour. But Cov looks so good at the moment, especially like ending the ball out wide and being really using those wingers. So I'm very intrigued to see how that plays out against us. But yeah, 85 Ash in charge, I think, at the moment. Now that I've said that, it'll probably be like, yeah, Kim Helberg's in charge now, and he's going to take charge of his first game, and he's just going to see how it goes against Cov, which I don't really think is the wisest thing to do in the world. But yeah, I'm actually more hoping that Eddie's in charge versus Kim at this point.
I should say we are recording this on Sunday afternoon, so
Yeah.
anything can happen between this going out and us speaking. But it looks like he might not even get the job. We don't even know what's going to happen.
Well, I was going to say when we caught up earlier in the week, it was very much like, oh, we'll speak about Raphael Wiki, and we'll go into that angle, and then literally before we recorded Untitled, it was like Kim Helberg's going to be in charge, and we were like, oh yeah, like right, this is going to happen. So yeah, anything can change when it comes to Middlesbrough at this point.
We should say, what did you make of the drop points at Oxford? Would you say that? Because that's what I thought when I saw the scoreline. What was the game like itself?
Yeah, a lot of possession, a lot of territory, couldn't break a team down, and also a lot of questionable decisions. I feel like there was a definite penalty shout in the first half with Alan Brown. Definitely a red card with Luke Harris as well and Tommy Conway. So we've had a number of decisions that didn't go our way. But then on top of that as well, for all the possession that we had, the same story with Middlesbrough has been happening this year where we're just not creating enough chances. Like for the last 5 games, our XG has been lower than one. 10 out of the 15, it's been lower than one. So you can definitely see that Borough are scraping games on a knife edge, hence why we're a lot higher than where we have been. And probably the comparison for Cov fans now where you've seen Borough the last couple of years under Carrick versus what you see under, well, now 85 Ashton Edwards and now Kim Helberg, is that Carrick was very possession based, really good going forward. It was very like, and I would always say you were quite nervous to say, oh, well, Borough are quite good going forward, so they'll probably create a lot of chances, but defensively they're always there to be got at. This year it's been more defensively really sound, and going forward we don't really create much. Very much a set piece team, and then a lot of crosses into the box, which haven't really landed on Tommy Conway's head, who is just not that type of forward, to be honest. So in that game against Oxford, yeah, number of decisions don't go our way. A lot of possession that didn't really too many chances, and then thirdly, like it was just a game where you would have probably just took a draw in the end because we just weren't ever going to break a team down who had 10 men behind the ball.
Yeah, frustrating one, I guess, for you guys. But since Edward's departure, on the whole, has it been a sizable improvement? Not really noticed the difference. Bit of a drop off in form. What do you reckon? Because you were not great in the couple of games before he left.
Yeah, we weren't, to be honest. We were pretty poor. But with Ivash, he can't really change too much, to be honest. He did go over 4-3-3 against Leicester, then we had to change because of an injury. And then but with Oxford yesterday, that 4-3-3 again. We've definitely looked a lot more fluid going forward and through the thirds. There's a lot more rotations from the tens and the wing backs to really knock the ball in the box. So that's definitely improved. So getting to that position is great. a lot more smoother, and you can tell that we've really started to make those little tweaks than we had done previously. It's just that final bit where we just haven't really nailed it yet. So you can look at Strelak and you can look at Tommy Conway and Cali Sen. They all offer you something different, but it's not what Boro need at the moment. They need someone who's quite big in the box
Mm.
and will get on the end of these crosses. But you can change that as well. You can either like try and bring in a cut back, which would be more suitable to Conway. But I think with David Strelic as well, for me, especially with Kim coming in, I think that he'll be like a false nine, drop in, then play Conway out wide and just really start to bomb the wings from there. But yeah, just creative wise, there has been improvements from 85 actually get to the position, but only that creative number's just not really leveling out at the minute.
And what about Morgan Whittaker? Because he scored yesterday, didn't he? Or on Saturday, rather. And has been an odd signing potentially for Borough in terms of came in for a big fee last January from Plymouth and didn't really hit the ground running. And this season, is he starting to find his feet in that kind of front three a bit more?
Yeah, well, look, firstly, I'm delighted that he's got 3 goals this season. 3 and 7, really happy. And he's starting to get up a good partnership with Callum Britton as well. Callum Britton's got four assists in 5, so it's nice that we're starting on that right hand side to get something moving a little bit more. But with Morgan Whittaker, he's been like just very stop start, hasn't really found his feet. He's had a couple of managers now. He's coming to his 3rd manager in what 11 months. So that's, well, if you want to count 80 in there, that's 4. So there's a lot of uncertainty, I would say, and he's having to adapt to different managers. So for rhythm, he hasn't really got going, and I think it's been really difficult for him to really adjust at Middlesbrough. I think he's a player, Morgan Whittaker, that you have to just constantly play through him to get the best out of him because he can be really inconsistent. But also, if you don't play through him, he can be quite limited. So it's one of those weird signings where it hasn't really fully worked out yet. But with the fee that we paid for about, was it 3 to 5 million? So
Mm.
a lot of Borough fans are like, well, he's just garbage and rubbish and get rid of him and cut our
Football
losses after
fans
12 months.
being
Yeah.
quick to jump to an opinion? No, never. Won't have
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no one's ever plays with that. But yeah, look, you don't know what's going on in his personal life as well. You don't know how he's adapting. Like it's a big culture shift going from Plymouth to Middlesbrough. Like the life is just so different. And that might be playing a part. You know, it might be a little bit of homesickness. There could be like a lot of things going off the pitch which might impact it. But then that number of changes on it is probably not helping with his rhythm as well. So, yeah, it's just been a difficult time for Morgan Whittaker, to be honest. And I don't think Borough fans are massively overly keen on him, which is a bit of a shame. But you never know. You never know. This new manager might come in and he just might fly. And that's where you got, okay, well, that's why we paid the money for him when he was at Plymouth. But yeah, sadly, not as great, but he's done very well to get his 3 goals this season.
And can we expect a back three or a back four from Borough on Tuesday night, do you reckon? Because was it a four against Oxford, but it's been a three, and we know AD Vivash mainly plays a three. What happened on Saturday?
To be fair, back 4 against Leicester, back 4 against Oxford, and we've got a number of injuries still. Like Matt Tyatt went off yesterday with an injury, so it looks like Silvera might occupy that left back spot, and he's there to be got at. He's just defensively not sound. We're not really in favour of Alex Bangura either on that left hand side. He's had 2 really bad injuries, and it's just like a case of really managing him back so slowly that he's barely featured. But you never know, he might drop in on Tuesday. But it's been a back 4 with, and we'll expect more likely to be Alfie Jones, Luke Ayling, and Callum Britton. And then that left back will most likely be a Silvera, I would say. So I think we'll play with that flat back 4, to be fair. And yeah, we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, it might go from there. But honestly, to be honest, Si, I don't think we actually have another defender that's fit. So I mean, it has to be a 4.
That sounds music to my ears. That I'm thinking about Sakamoto up against a left back who's not great defending. I'm licking my lips slightly because he got another assist yesterday. He is just a wonderful, wonderful winger when he's in the mood. And I don't want to bring it up, but we do always seem to beat Borough, don't we? We have a really good record at the
Yeah.
Riverside. Not just the playoff semi-final. We won 3-0 there in Mark Robbins' last away game in charge as well, even when things weren't going great for us. Yeah, I love Borough. I really do, because we're always together in the table, very friendly with each other. But it's a kind of rivalry we've always had the better of in recent years.
Yeah, well, we were looking at on my show earlier this morning, and I think we've won 1 in the last 9. You might have to fact check me while I rant to you. But yeah, I think 1 in 9, and we haven't scored in 6 out of 10 of them or something daft like that. So yeah, it's not really a favourable fixture for us, to be honest. And I'm a bit nervous about the game, especially when you mentioned Sakamoto, because what a great player. Wasn't he on a free as well? Didn't you get him on a free? Is that right?
It was just, I think it was a couple of million, but it wasn't a big
Mm.
fee.
Yeah, I mean, from he was from JPro, the Belgian league, right? He came from
Hmm.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna. That's definitely probably one aspect of the game where, again, I'm nervous for. But Alex Bangura, though, he's absolutely rapid. So
Mm.
it depends if he is fit. If they want to use him and try him out against Sakamoto. But what a game to come back to, someone who's just banging form and is going to be at him. But I think I think that's genuinely where the game's going to be played. That first 20 minutes, that Coventry blitz, try and really get that first early goal and then make it difficult. Boro come out a little bit more, catch on the break. That's where I think it's really important, that first 20 minutes. But yeah, was I right? Was it 1 in 9? I think
It's 1 in
we've
9.
1
We're
in 9.
undefeated in the last 8. You won 1-0 at
Yeah.
home, 29th of January 2022. It's 1 win in 10 for Borough
Oh no. Well, yeah. I mean,
and
no wonder.
5
No
wins
wonder.
in a
Yeah.
row for Cov.
Yeah. Well,
1, 2,
I
3,
mean,
4,
not.
5. Yeah, 5 wins in a row since we won the playoff semi-final. We beat you 3-0 at home, then 3-1 away, then 3-0 away, and then, of course, the last day of the season meeting, which we did a little preview show for as well, I think.
Yeah.
And you were very, very negative about it. And I thought you were luring me into your trap, and we beat you again. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't know what to say. It's just all goes well for Cov when they come up against Borough. What are you worried about then for this one?
Just like I said to you there, like, I think it's just the wingers, to be honest. I think, but when Middlesbrough in the game, I think it's all about rhythm, really. I think that first 20 minutes, how difficult is it going to be for Borough to get out their own box? Because I can see Cov having much more of the ball. I can see them wanting to spread the ball out wide and be expansive, try and take a man on, create those 1v1s, get the ball in the box. And for Borough, it's probably more around how can we disrupt that and really start to stop you playing. For us, I think we'll probably try and slow that tempo down, try and make sure that we can dominate in certain areas and be a bit more direct. But ultimately, I think if we're able to stop the ball coming into the box, or we can at least control essential areas, then we have a really good chance to get this on the break. So I'm hoping we can do that. But my biggest fear is conceding in that first 10 minutes. Conceding that first 10 minutes, it could be a really long evening for us, um, which is a shame, really. I think it's a really good game on Tuesday. I think a lot of fans are very excited for it for all the right reasons because we've both suffered together and we've both we've been on this whole journey. So if we could both win together, that'd be great, and we could go away and celebrate, or at least take a draw at this point. But yeah, I would say it's the wingers. I would say that's really like causing our problems. But then again, there's some really good players in this Coventry side that are just starting to flourish this year, like Victor Torp, unbelievable in midfield. Haji Wright is starting to really come together again. Brandon Asante as well. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. But probably when I'll come back to the wing backs as well, that I can never pronounce his name. Gunsvini.
Van
Right.
Egg, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, it's that doubling up on that right hand side against Sammy Silvera, which I think you have to target because that's probably one of Boro's biggest weaknesses. So, in a nutshell, Simon, probably quite a few things that I'm really nervous about, to be honest. I don't think you have anything to worry about because we can't really get the ball in the box. And when we get the ball in the box, we don't really create much with it.
Well, that's what we thought about West Brom. They hadn't scored an away goal, like 3 goals all season. Then we were 2-0 down all of a sudden. I was like, oh, I think that's the thing with this Coventry squad is that I don't panic with them. There's a real belief that we can win games even when we're 2-0 down or we go behind. There's a lot of quality. Jack Rodoni came off the bench for 10 minutes yesterday, so he's getting back to fitness, and I think everyone would admit, is our best player. Had you right, didn't play and wasn't in the squad this weekend due to a quad injury picked up with the USA on international duty. So it'll be interesting to see if he's back involved. I think he probably won't be, which means Ellis Sims up front, and Sims did a good job, to be fair. Or Brandon Thomas Santa, as you say. There's a lot of options. It's a lot of exciting attacking talent. I mean, we've scored 43 goals in 16 games, and it's just crazy football right now. I said a stat on the podcast earlier today that we've won 9 games out of 10 right now. We're on a run of 9 wins out of 10. Coventry have only ever done that once in the last 100 years, and it was January this year under Frank Lampard when we won 9 games out of 10. It's it's absolutely crazy. It's a crazy time to be a Cov fan. It's amazing. Having said that, I'd really take a draw, snap your hand off for a draw in this game because we just need to keep that ball rolling. We've got a few really tough away games coming up. We've got you away, Preston away, and then Ipswich away. And we always lose to Preston at Deepdale. So quite a lot of difficult games coming up for us. But yeah, it's such an interesting game. And the midfield battle is probably the one I want to touch on because I think most people would suggest that Hayden Hackney's Borough's best player.
Yeah.
Matt Grimes, Coventry's most important player, I would suggest. Maybe not best player. It's going to be really interesting to see who gets hold of that midfield. Is that something you think Hackney can do, and Hackney and Morris potentially as a duo?
When Hackney's at his best, mate, he's incredible to watch. We're playing with more of a 3 now with Alan Brown coming in. Alan Brown's been magnificent, really. He's when he first came back in the team, you were thinking, okay, this really good experience. He's just more sort of just like picking the game up, and it's that next pass. It's that next pass from there. Aidan Morris is more of like an engine, and then you got Hackney who just try and progress the player as an 8. I think it's a really difficult game for Hackney, to be honest, because I think if you really try to nullify him, you nullify a lot of Boro's progressive play, which they've tried to move away from a little bit over the last game or two under Vivash, just to take that pressure off him. Because under Edwards, it was very much just funnel it through Hackney. And then if you stop Hackney, you stop Boro from doing anything, which we weren't doing much anyway, but if it wasn't for Hackney. So, but yeah, it's a very important part of the game. We've always spoke about this when we've played Coventry, is who owns the middle, because when it was Robbins, it was that box 4. We could never break it down, and again, you would catch us on the break and get something. So, with obviously there's a small tweak, I would say, in Cov's system at the moment, but yeah, I would say it's a really key moment, part of the game, and I think Hackney would be really key to anything that happens from a Boro standpoint. But ultimately, I think it's the wings where the game will be won and lost, to be honest with you.
Very interesting indeed. I guess the last thing we need to do is do our score predictions, right, Johnny? Because I don't know. I've said I'd take a draw, and I did predict on that Cov pod earlier that it would be a 1-1 draw, and I'd be delighted with that. I think if we can get a point, I think you'd be happy with a point as well. It's just how I feel about the game. So, is it boring to sit on the fence and say a draw? Can you be a bit bolder than me?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will take a draw all day, to be honest. I think it'll be. You know what? I'll go 2-2 draw at Desmond.
Okay.
Bit of excitement. Maybe we go 2-0 up, or you go 2-0 up, and one of us does a comeback, and then you think at the end of the game, and you go, oh, well, that's excited me, that, because we both don't want it 1-1, right? Because we'll both be panicking, and we don't want to lose, the pair of us. So let's just shake hands and go, you know what? Yeah, fine. But if you do win those, I mean, you got 10 points clear, right? And then once you're 10 points clear after 17 games, I mean, that's crazy. Because I remember when we spoke before about like Lampard coming in, like in the Robins, we both said like, oh, I'm not too sure. Like that, is that I don't know. Is it gonna like be a net positive? But it turned out it's been unreal, hasn't it? So I bet
The
you're in
gamble has
dreamland.
paid off, isn't it, in the best way possible. Like that's why Doug King deserves a lot of credit, and Lampard deserves immense credit, and his coaching staff for the work we've done and the way we're winning games. I will say about us both predicting a draw, we haven't settled for many draws this season in terms of the reason we are 7 points clear at the top of the table is because it sounds so stupid. We win a lot of games. As a case of we are always trying to win the game. I don't think if it's level, we'll be time wasting or anything. I think this will be a case of we'll want to put a marker down because there's an arrogance and a swagger about this team that we want to prove we are the best team in the league. And it's going to be very interesting. And obviously, there's the AD Vivash factor as well, that he knows quite a lot of these players and has worked with so many of them. There's so much about this game which is so exciting. And I can't believe we're both predicting a draw.
I mean, it's the best possible thing for us both, to be honest. I just know if I said, 3-0 Middlesbrough or something, the amount of abuse I would get from Cov fans would be insane. So I'm doing it for my own sanity, to be honest. But yeah, I just think it's a draw, to be fair. So I would definitely take that. And would Cov try and go and win it? Yeah, probably. I'll probably say they're going to go for it, but I'm hoping that defensively we're solid enough. If we're solid enough, we might have some really good moments. But it's that early goal, isn't it? If it's an early goal, it'll be a really difficult evening. You'll go away and win 2-3-0 and we'll be done with it. So, but yeah, if I was Frank Lampard, though, I'd be going, look, guys, look, we can go 10 points clear tonight. I know it's one game at a time, but what a cushion we could have coming into these next run of games going away from home. So that's a great incentive for Coventry to try and get something.
And what was it Fergie said about Tottenham? And you say, lads, it's Spurs. Maybe that should just be. Maybe Cov should just go, lads, it's Boro. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, look at the last few games you've played against us. So I mean, they've only won one last 10, lads. So they're there to be got at, and look at the history of the fixture as well. So, but it would be very sweet though if 85 Ash got us that win. You know, it would be poetic to some aspect of it. So
it would
maybe
be
I
very
should
poetic.
do it.
Would be very poetic indeed for Boro. Right. Get your score predictions in the comments down below. Really keen to hear what you think of this top of the table clash. Who's going to come out on top? Middlesbrough or Coventry? Can't wait to watch it on Tuesday night at the Riverside. Jonny, thank you very much for joining me. If you want to hear more from Jonny, check out Boro Breakdown. If you want to hear more from me, check out that Cov pod. But that is it for now, guys. Leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you think, and we'll see you next time.